BBC Music introducing
with Jericho Keys, dedicated to discovering and supporting brand new talent. This is the sound of the future. BBC Radio York.
I'm chuffed to bits to say joining us on the show is Experiment 637, and we'll talk debut record, gigs and all that jazz. Ronan, are you with us?
I am indeed, yeah. How you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, mate.
No, thank you for having me.
So tell me, too soon to call a search. What path are you on there, mate?
I think you did hit the nail on the head, to be honest. It's quite a dark tune, I think, in a lot of ways. When we were writing it, we sort of put a hat on of being sort of this, I don't know, weird guy sort of in the woods and clinging on to sort of, I don't know, a failing relationship, really. And I think in the recorded version you can kind of hear that a lot more than in this live session. But I think you're right. Haunting is probably a word that I definitely use.
And you're not describing each other as two weird guys in the woods, are you?
Well, no, we're kind of trying to be one weird guy in the woods.
So talk to me about Experiment 637. I know fine well that you're both involved in other projects. So how did this become that you two gravitated together and became this? Well,
I originally started working with Mickey years ago now. He produced a band that I was in, a couple of bands I was in actually. And I ended up going on tour with his other band, selling merch for them. And we just really hit it off sort of as mates, really, as you know, outside of the studio. And we just one day made the promise just to get together and jam. And rest history, really. It's been amazing.
How long was that process from the initial conversations you two having to actually finally going, right, we've talked about it enough now, let's actually go and do something?
Do you know, it was actually probably surprisingly quite quick. I think when we actually said, we're going to do it, I think it was probably a matter of days or weeks, to be honest.
All right, there's no sitting on the pot there, is there?
No, not at all.
It was meant to be. So what sort of stuff made you pull together then? What did you bond over? What was it, a love of music, or was it a love of recording? What was it?
Good question. I think really at the time when we really made a go of it, we sort of bonded over breakups, really. I was going through a sort of personal breakup with a girl, your classic breakup story. And one of Mickey's other projects was sort of in the process of breaking up. And I think a lot of the songs on this album came from that. It was kind of like therapy in a way for us both, to sort of articulate how we were feeling through music. That was the main bond, really. I mean, there was a lot of watching films and listening to music outside of the studio. It was mainly that sort of, I guess, being each other's shoulders to sort of cry or laugh on or whatever.
Well, that's a really nice way to get together, because whatever breakup it is, whether it's a relationship or a friendship or something that you've worked hard on, it's very difficult. Even if you want it at the time, it still takes time to heal. So I suppose you two keeping busy and putting your energies and sort of maybe your emotions into something creative was the best outlet, rather than doing what other people may do and stew on it and get upset or go out drinking. You've actually come out with an amazing album. Oh,
thank you. Yeah, no, it was a huge help to us both. Like you said, it kind of we were quite regimented with when we got together to record. You know, it was sort of every Monday to Wednesday. So that just in itself kind of, it stopped you from, like you said, going out and drinking or sort of sitting on your own. It was it was really healthy, definitely.
And doing this project, was there sort of certain bands that you were listening to collectively or on your own and thinking, we want to sort of try and get a little bit of that in there and a little bit of this? Because I suppose this project that you're doing, Experiment 637, is different to other projects you've done before, and you want it to sound different.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's different to projects I've never been in before, really. I think there were loads of bands we're listening to, really. I mean, ones that stand out are probably Bon Iver, 22 A Million, that sort of era of Bon Iver was a big one. A band called Low from America, and an old band from Leeds, Hood. They sort of stand out to me. But I don't think we really sat down and sort of said, we should steal that, or borrow that bit from that chorus or that texture. I think it was very much it was just a culmination of all of our ideas, really.
I like how you corrected yourself there, Ronan, and said, steal, sorry, borrow, so you don't get into...
Well, what's the quote? Good artists borrow, great artists steal. So maybe we should have stolen. I don't know.
So talk to me about the debut album then. How long did that take you to turn around? Sleepwater, which came out last month. How long was that as a process?
It's a good question. It came about, I think we really hit our flow sort of at the end of lockdown. We had songs that we began working on sort of months before, and obviously everything sort of was put to hold. I'm not sure really the length of time. It was quite, once we hit our stride, we started getting songs out in sort of in a matter of days, really. And then other songs were sort of a bit more of a painful birth, or a slower birth, sorry.
A painful birth. How long is a piece of string? That's the question, Ronan. Now, I haven't seen you live yet, but my colleague Declan, who works on the show, has, and said that you brought a visual element to the show at the Broodnow Social Club. Is that sort of a really important thing for you as musicians?
Yeah. Well, because we are a two-piece, and everything on the record, we played every note ourselves, apart from the odd sample of an opera singer here or there. But because we are only two people, performing a show, we sort of thought, what can we do? So what we actually did is film me playing drums to all the songs in front of a green screen, and then projected that at the gig. Sort of I'd be playing drums in space or going down a waterfall or something like that. We've actually done one gig. We played 3 songs at the Broodnow Social Club to open our sort of launch night for a label we run. So we only played 3 songs, but I mean, the visual aspect is definitely a big part that we're gonna work on. We're already working on it now for our gigs coming up.
Well, talk about gigs coming up, because you've sold it to me. Where are you playing?
Well, it's still in the pipeline, so I can't actually
Ronan, man, come on!
However, we're definitely getting out there and playing some gigs as soon as we can. It's just a case of figuring out when and where, really. All
right, so where do we need to go then to keep an eye on that?
Just all over our social media, really. Facebook, or Instagram, Experiment637, or experiment637.com.
Cool. Right, I can't let you go without asking you this. I wasn't gonna, but I've been pondering it myself for a few months. What is Experiment 637? Where did that come from?
Well, it's just one of those. It's one of those names where.
One of those names where, and just like that, Ronan drops off the ether,